Welcome to chapter 51 of Confessions of a Chalky Chump. That one was sent in by Melissa. Thank you very much. Excellent contribution. I'm probably going to change the podcast name to that. That's so much better than Memoirs of a White Guy. Confessions of a Chalky Chump should have been the original title, and I'm now regretting all my life decisions between now and then. How did it all go so wrong? Man, I think chalky chump sounds like a derogatory term for a white person. And not like any white person either, like a real specific kind of white person. Like Donald Trump is a chalky chump, isn't he? Like he's just, if he had a podcast, it'd be called Confessions of a Chalky Chump. Actually, no, it'd be called Confessions of a Chalky Trump. But, you know, what that was pretty good. That, for off the cuff, that is some damn good rhyming. I got a hella good flow, which means I'm ready to go. See? And that's another demonstration of my hella good flow, but also just rhyme flow with flow. So I fucked it. Alright, and now we're going to continue on without whatever that was. So this week's been like a real week where I was super busy, and I swear I have these all the time. I'm super busy, and then I get to the end of the week, and I'm like, what did I even get done? Like, I went to Geelong twice. I opened for Josh Wade's show in Geelong because he was doing a regional tour. So that's like an hour and a half away from where I lived. And, you know, he drove from Gold Coast to, which is like an hour and a half to open for my Brisbane show. So I drove down there, opened for Josh. And then the next night, I drove back. And then the next night, I drove back down to Geelong again to open for Neil's show at the same venue, which was good. Both were great shows. But that's like 6 hours of driving. Like, that's a lot for me anyway. I don't mind driving, but for 6 hours, anyway, I'm literally complaining about something that I made a decision to do. This is typical Confessions of a Chalky Chump. Anyway, this week I realized that I've been putting off heaps of shit. Wait, something just fell in my room and it scared the shit out of me. I don't know what. I moved my chair. Okay, I think I have a ghost in my room. What the hell? Something just moved and I didn't hit anything. Oh no, I realized my shirt just fell off the back of my chair. Alright, no ghost. False alarm. I jumped to ghost. Like, yep, there's definitely a ghost before I even thought of maybe I just knocked something off the back of my chair instead of, oh shit, there's an evil spirit in my room. Anyway, no evil spirit. Holy shit, my heart was pounding for a bit there. And not even because I was scared, I was just excited about getting good podcast content for you. Because imagine right then, I was going to go talk about something else, and then all of a sudden, we get a live interview from a ghost in my bedroom. Man, that's some spontaneous Jerry Springer shit. Like, please welcome to the stage a ghost, and fuck, everyone's freaking out because no one's expecting a ghost. Like, that's better than like an ex-girlfriend who you've cheated on, but then she's pregnant, and then it's like, what? And then the new wife's there, but ghost trumps all that. Anyway, what am I talking about? Oh, what was I? Okay, I was talking about this week. I've been putting heaps of shit off, I realized. And I didn't even realize that's how good I am at putting shit off. My ability to bury things so far back in my brain when I want to avoid doing them is incredible. Like, I'm almost proud of myself. So, 2 examples. The first one is the light globe in my room is broken. Like, the light bulb just went out. It's been out for about a week and a half now. And you know why I don't fix it? Because it only bothers me at nighttime. It only bothers me for 4 or 5 hours a day, and I have another lamp in my room, so I'm probably not going to change my light globe until the lamp in my room also blows, and then I'll just be sitting there in darkness, and I'll be like, alright, I'm going to go get a torch and do something about this. But until then, I can honestly not see my light. Imagine if my light just fixed right now. Hang on, let's... Oh, no, still fucked. Okay, honestly, a little bit of me thought the ghost may have fixed it, but, yeah, it wasn't a ghost. Damn it. Ghost would have literally solved all my problems. It would have given me good content for this podcast instead of talking about my globe. And it also would have fixed my globe, so that's 2 wins. But yeah, the second thing that's been pissing me off, but again, just been putting it off for ages, is in my car boot, I still have, from the Bachelor video, 6 weeks ago. I filmed that 6 weeks ago, and I still have 2 fire extinguishers just banging round in my boot. Whenever I turn a corner, I just hear this boom. And like, I have friends hop in my car and they're like, oh, what's that noise? And I just tell them it's a ghost. Oh, that was a shitty callback. I thought that was funny for like half a second. Then I was like, nah, it's not that good. But I'm not cutting it out. You guys heard that and you got to deal with it. Okay, it was a pretty average callback. But let's just move on as a unit and we'll get through this together, guys. But anyway, these fire extinguishers are just constantly banging around my boot. But again, like driving to Geelong, it didn't really piss me off because it's straight most of the way and you don't turn any sharp corners on a freeway. So again, wasn't pissing me off. And then as soon as I got back into the suburbs, I turn a sharp corner and you just do, and you're like, oh man, I need to get rid of those fire extinguishers. Then you start going on a straight road again and you completely forget about it. I'm just jamming along to, I don't know, anything that's not Taylor Swift's new song because it's a piece of shit. And then it just goes boom and I'm like, oh, the fire extinguisher again. I must get rid of that. And then I'll forget about it for 10 minutes and I'm boom. Oh, it's the same thing as the light. Like I'll completely forget about it, not give it any thought throughout the day. And then like I'll forget about it. So I'll record this podcast, upload it. 3 hours will pass. It'll get dark. Then I'll flick on the light and be like, oh shit, I need to change the globe. Because I just don't think about it. It's such a thing where both things would probably only take me 5 minutes. But nah, I'd probably spend more time thinking about the fire extinguishers in the last 6 weeks than actually it would have taken for me to dispose of. Actually, how do you dispose of a fire extinguisher? I'm going to Google it. How do you dispose of a fire extinguisher? It says to
on the website ccpa.net, they say... Fourth, to dispose of an old fire extinguisher that cannot be recharged or that you do not wish to keep. Let the canister sit for a few days.
Shut up!
Sure
I got to explain this.
Once there is no
shut
longer
up!
Pressure, dispose in a trash bag in your regular
So I have this Google thing. I forgot I had that sitting there. So I was going to talk about that later. But I have this Google thing that when you ask it a question, it answers. Man, that's so funny. I completely forgot that was there. Anyway, I didn't even hear what it said. It says, to dispose of an old fire extinguisher that cannot be recharged or that you don't wish to keep, let it sit for a few days. Well, I've let it sit for 6 weeks, although it has been banging around in my car, so it's probably still, I don't know, juiced up. I don't know how fire extinguishers work. Oh, you just put it in the bin. Just says put it in a trash bag and dispose of it in the bin. I'm such a dickhead, man. I was like, I bet you have to take it to the skip, and I'll probably have to like, oh, dude, this is what I mean. All these things, and I bet there's a globe sitting in the cupboard that I could just whack in and change it. It'd take me 2 seconds. But I don't know. This is my point at the start. I'm getting really, really good at putting off shit. Like trending trash. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, okay? It's like half written, honestly. Like, I'm gonna get it done. Okay, stop. Everyone's just messaging me about it. It's trending trash too. Yeah, I missed a month, and then the second month's coming. It comes when it comes. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting really good at putting off shit. Not that I've actually been trying to work on trending trash, but yeah, you know what? That's what I mean. I've been hustling, working on. I haven't. I've just been gigging and shit. Anyway. Oh man, that Google thing's hilarious. So I was actually about to talk about that next. I'm gonna have to talk about it now. Emily's dad bought this new Google, it's called Google Home, and it's one of these things where you ask it a question and it just answers you immediately. Like, hey Google, what's Brad Pitt's birth date?
Brad Pitt was born on December 18th, 1963.
So you literally just ask it useless shit and it answers, and it's hilarious. I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny because I just think, this is the start, and then robots are taking over, and literally this thing. So what it is, I'll describe it to you. It's like a little white kind of dome device. It's no bigger than like my hand, and it just sits on your bench, and it's creepy as shit because it listens to every single conversation that you have. And that's why before, when I Googled something, I read out a question, like for you guys, how do you dispose of a fire extinguisher? Shit, don't answer it again. Okay, didn't hear me that time. But yeah, I read out a question, and then I thought there was a ghost there. Again, for a second, I heard a voice, and I was like, what? And then I forgot about it, and I forget that it's always listening. Right now, it's listening to me. Like, you can just ask it, hey, Google, are you a ghost?
I believe in Ghostbusters, and that you should call them.
That's not funny. See, that's the thing. I asked it a serious question if it was a ghost, and some nerdy programmer guys programmed some lame joke. The lamest joke that they've programmed into it is this. Hey Google, how cool are you? You ready?
As a cucumber.
Oh. It said as a cucumber if you couldn't hear it. It's honestly disappointing that this is the future. Like, I think I borrowed it from my girlfriend's dad just so I could trash it on the podcast. But honestly, like, this is the future. Like, in Back to the Future when it was like, was it 2015 it was set in? And then, there was hoverboards, Marty McFly was talking to the thing. This is what that is, and it sucks. Like, I don't know, what's something that I've always wanted to know? Alright, okay. Hey Google, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Let's investigate why a woodchuck might chuck wood, possibly as a defense mechanism. Woodchucks are large rodents prey to many other animals.
What a waste of time! What a waste of time even listening to this is, let alone having one in your home permanently. And Emily's dad just bought it because he's into, like, new technology, and he just pretty much just bought it for a meme. And yeah, it's a bit of a meme, but like, it sucks because it sits in Emily's kitchen. It's currently in my bedroom because I borrowed it, but it usually sits in Emily's kitchen, and it just sits there listening to every single conversation you have. I read some shit online that, like, these things have helped solve murders and stuff. Like, people have been like, I wasn't home at the time, so I couldn't have killed my wife. And then, like, they're going, not according to your Google Home. Like, imagine being busted by this piece of shit because you had a dumb thing that just answered useless questions for you and you went to jail for life. I mean, these things, I don't know, like, I don't know how I feel about them yet, because, like, they're kind of scary that they just sit there listening to every single conversation, but so does your iPhone. Like, that's the thing, you always have your iPhone on you, and that shit's listening, it's got a microphone on it, so I guess there's no different, but I don't know, man, that's just, it feels like a breach of privacy, even though I've intentionally brought this to my house to meme it on my podcast. Hey Google, what's a meme?
Meme, an element of a culture or system of behavior passed from one
Hey
individual
Google,
to
stop.
another by imitate.
Hey, you can stop it. Oh man, I just put a robot back into its place. But you know what? Not for long. This shit's taken over, man. Anyway, that's probably enough of Hey Google. I just wanted to show you guys that robots are taking over and we're all fucked. So enjoy that reality setting in. Man, it's now flashing.
My apologies.
Oh, shut up.
I don't understand.
Shut up. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the podcast. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god. This thing, it's like... Oh, I can't deal. I'm going to turn it off. I don't know. I don't want to, because what about if I want to ask it a question later for this podcast? So, anyway. That's enough of Hey Google. But yeah, oh no, it just heard me. Shit. Hey Googles, don't answer.
My apologies. I don't understand.
I just told you not to answer. God damn it. What do I want to talk about next? I got to talk about... I want to talk... Okay, while I'm sitting here memeing a robot and, talking about all this stupid shit, World War III is about to start and no one's talking about it. I went to news.com the other day and North Korea, testing a nuclear weapon that they're planning on probably using against half the Western world was fifth in the news. Literally, there's been heavy discussion between all the big world leaders, about this North Korea situation, but all anyone's talking about is Matty J on The Bachelor. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know, just fifth in the news, really? This is one of the biggest world, political things that's happened in ages. And these are the stories that beat out North Korea testing a nuke and South Korea then replying, and then Donald Trump making an announcement about it. These are the these are the stories that were considered more important by news.com. What's with all the public sex? This couple was caught having sex in broad daylight on a train platform. Sounds dumb, right? Well, a lot of people are into it. Boom, click. Mum's ingenious $9.95 IKEA hack. Unless her hack was a ballistic missile, I don't think that's important right now, to be honest. This is another one. Did Taylor rip off Kanye on new song? I hope not, for Kanye's sake, because her new song, as I said before, was a piece of shit. I mean, Did anyone listen to Taylor Swift's new song? God damn. Like, the verse is alright, and then that chorus, look at what you made me do. You made me listen to your shit song. That's what you made me do, Taylor. God. Dude, she would know, by the way. I was thinking about this. You know how, like, say when, you know, Katy Perry, or it would happen to Miley Cyrus, when all these big stars come out with a shit song once in a while, and they must back it. Like, they must wholeheartedly believe, this is my next single, and it's a banger. Or else, why would they drop it to, like, hundreds of millions of people if they thought it sucked as well? Like, it's... she must know that everyone hates it by now. Like, she just have to go on Twitter. That'd be brutal. It'd be like if I dropped a video and literally like, all my fans, like, everyone who's ever liked my shit went, this sucks. This sucks a bit, Taylor. We still like you, but this is a pile of horse shit. Apparently, she's got a second one as well. Haven't listened to it. No longer care. Anyway, what was I talking about? I've completely forgotten. Oh, it was the North Korea thing. Man, I'm like a goldfish. I'm an easily distracted goldfish because I have a memory of 5 seconds and I start talking about like North Korea and then I just 2 minutes later I'm on a rant about how how do you get from North Korea to how shit is Taylor Swift's new song? Fucking hell, I'm as bad as news.com. Like, anyway, I was talking about all the websites that were apparently, all the news stories that were apparently more important than North Korea testing a hydrogen bomb. But I could keep doing this for hours. But so what I want to talk about with this North Korea thing, and by the way, I want to preface this with, I have only read about 3 online news articles that are of the caliber of like ladbiblenews.com and the Daily Mail, and watched one thing on Sky News about it. So that equates to negative research. I've done no research on this topic, but does that ever stop me from having an opinion on it? No, not at all. Kids, in life, your teachers, your higher-ups, even some of your peers are going to tell you, do not have an opinion on something that you know nothing about. And I say, nay. I am a chalky chump. And thus, you will do what I say, which is have an opinion on something that you know nothing about. And then you go, boom, drop the mic, you throw a puff of glitter and go, poof, and then you just leave. What the fuck was that? I don't know what just happened. I think I blacked out for a second and started doing a weird erotic chalky chump impression. Anyway, what's happening today? I just keep getting distracted. It's going to be 20 minutes later. I'm going to be like, anyway, North Korea. But anyway, North Korea. I was watching all these, like, the news and stuff, and I just still cannot fathom how it's, like, number 5 on the news. Like, I was watching 7 News, and the first story was like, you know, the classic, oh, something new's happening in Melbourne showbag, someone gets stabbed in sunshine, oh, look, it's a cute dog, boom, like number 5 or 6, North Korea just launched a nuclear missile, and then they just move on, like, and next, sport. Like, no sport with Tim Watson, okay? What did you say? They've launched a nuclear missile. How do you just skip on from that? Alright, Jennifer Kite, or whatever your name is, okay, I'm not the best at naming Australian TV celebrities. By the way, they're not celebrities. I don't think there's a such thing. I've talked about this before on this podcast. There's no such thing as an Australian celebrity. But even now, I can see myself getting distracted again and start going to town on Australian celebrities. I just did quotation marks. And I'm not going to. That's a discussion for another time. But yeah, this North Korea thing's crazy. Did you know? I just looked at a map, though. The one really good thing about the thing, there's a map of all their nuclear missiles, or at least the 4 that they've tested, and then there's a map of the range of them, and if you live in Northern Territory, you're fucked, because that's the longest one reaches just to the top of Northern Territory, and maybe Townsville, but yeah, if you're below that, you're completely out of range, you're not in nuke territory, so you're fine. But it's pretty scary though, like, jokes aside, I mean, they shouldn't even be joking about it, but like, they're literally all flaunting their power, showing that they've got nuclear weapons. But if one did push the button on a nuclear weapon, we'd be screwed. Like, just radiation alone. Like, you'd be dead. Like, it will be World War III. 100%. There is no doubt about it. It'd be chalky chumps versus North Korea, and then maybe China would be on the chalky chumps side. And it'd be chalky chumps, which would be led by the chalky Trump. Man, if Kim Jong-un was white, he'd be a chalky chump as well. Like, for sure. Because, dude, whenever I see a picture of him in all these articles, whenever I see him on the news, like, watching a big missile shoot up in the air, and he's just got the biggest grin on his face. He just looks like the biggest cutie. Is that not, like, surely I'm not the only one who thinks that? Like, yeah, I almost get happy for him. Whenever they launch, like, some nuke, I'm just like, God, this is all he wants in life, and he's got a huge grin. He's got a little chubby face. Like, you know, if he put marshmallows up his cheeks and went chubby bunny, it'd be the best thing ever. Like, he'd be a chalky chump. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, have you guys seen that shit that, like, he makes up and tells the people? Like, it's so scary because, like, yeah, they're launching nukes and they're testing nuclear stuff, but just the way that whole North Korea country is run. Like, you know, like, he tells people that he had a supernatural birth and shit. Like, they pretty much see him as Jesus. And honestly, if you didn't know any better, I guess you'd believe it. And there's, like, another thing. Okay, there's a bunch of facts. I'm going to find them. Alright, I'm going to pause the podcast and find all these facts that he tells their people. Alright, I'm back and I found the facts. And the best one by far is he's told an entire country that he doesn't shit. So Kim Jong-un has told thousands of people who look up to him that he's never used a toilet. And that's all good and well, but could you imagine how self-conscious you'd feel as a North Korean citizen? Like if you looked up and worshipped this guy who's never, according to you, has never done a bowel movement in his life. That one time when you're eating like a big curry and it's 12 hours later and you've smashed like maybe a roast and a curry and you're sitting on the toilet and you just take like, you know, you take just like the grossest shit possible and then you have to flush the toilet like 3 times and it's one of those shits where a bit gets caught on the bowl, so you have to like degradingly scrub your own shit with the brush, then flush it again because you got a bit of shit on the brush, and then like you'd look at him and be like, could you imagine how self-conscious you'd feel? Like this dude doesn't even shit and I just dropped like a mother load in this toilet. Like, you just rain down brown holy destruction onto this. You get the idea. You'd feel self-conscious. And my second favourite one that he makes up is, he tells all the people in North Korea that he's a master golfer. Oh, no, sorry, that he was a master golfer. So, in his biography, Kim Jong-un first picked up a golf club in 1994 at North Korea's only golf course. And then he shot a 38 under par round in his first round that included no fewer than 11 holes in one. So I like that he didn't make up that he got a hole in one every hole. He's like, what's believable in my first round of golf? I mean, I've never picked up a club. Yeah, 11 holes in one. That sounds believable. I would love to see Tiger Woods versus Kim Jong-un 1v1 in golf and also shitting and also fucking women that aren't your wife. That'd be a bloody good contest. I reckon Tiger Woods would get him in 2 of the 3, but probably not golf. Because, yeah, Kim Jong-un's a master golfer. What else? I love this shit, man. He made up that he invented the hamburger. Like, that's not even something you really want on your resume. Like, yeah, it's kind of good, but, like, do you really want to be the... Like, that's the shit that bothers me about this. He didn't make up, like, hey, I invented electricity. No, he invented that... He reckons he invented the hamburger. But the thing is, they would have had hamburgers before he was alive. Surely. Like, there's no way... Who's believing this shit? I know they're getting brainwashed, but those things are like the kind of trivial things he convinces them, but there's some shit that's actually scary. Like, he convinces them, like, that every other country in the world celebrates his birthday once a year, and that, like, North Korea is a loved country. I don't know who's believing it, to be honest. Like, and he also, like, tells them that he can heal, like, AIDS, Ebola, and all this shit. Like, too bad if you're in North Korea, you die of Ebola, and you're like, I thought he could heal it, what a dog. Like, and also there's the no internet thing. Like, the only people who have access to the internet in North Korea are, like, government officials. And, you know, so really, you'd have to be a government official if you want to look at memes. Like, why else would you get into government other than look at, you know, you wouldn't even know who, like, Grumpy Cat is. I guess that's not a huge loss. But, man, that'd suck. Anyway, I don't really have anything more to add on this North Korea thing other than it's scary as shit what is happening right now in the world, and no one's talking about it at all. But, you know what? The Bachelor's going swell. Actually, you know what? The Bachelor isn't going swell. Is anyone else getting over it this season? I don't want to... Dude, it pains me to even say this. It's like a mother, like, telling their child that they've failed them. I mean, I can't imagine how hard that would have been for my mum last week. Nah, I'm her biggest achievement. It's pretty obvious. Anyway, The Bachelor. It's just... I don't know. This season, I'm going to put out there and say this season is becoming the worst season of the Australian Bachelor yet. Oh no, second worst. The season with Blake sucked. He was the worst. But yeah, this season, I don't know. I think it's just getting boring. Here's the thing. Other people are trying to work out who wins still. People are saying, oh, it's pretty interesting. You know, you don't really know who's going to win. This is my honest opinion. I reckon Matty J's realised that he doesn't like any of the girls. I think he's slowly coming to the realisation that none of them are going to be the one for him. And you know what? I kind of thought that when they're all coming in. I was like waiting for the one. I was like, oh, who could be... You know, like when Snezana walked in or whatever for Sam, I was like, man, this one seems legit. She seems genuine. She seems like a winner. Good on her. Like, she seems really nice. There's a few who seem really nice, but I don't know. Man, like, Elise seems pretty genuine, but I just don't know. Laura, maybe. But yeah, again, I just think he's realised that, man, these girls are hot, but... Nah. I could meet a better girl in my own time. But I'm going to keep watching it. Like, I'm not going to just abandon the show. You know, it's obviously going to keep happening. Oh, this week, I got to talk about this. Did anyone else see, I think it was Wednesday, I forget which episode, Wednesdays or Thursdays. Did you see Simone, like, sexually assault Matty J live on national TV and no one talked about it? So what happened was, right, they played this game where... The girls, it was on a group date, they blindfolded Matty J, and then the girls had to pick their favourite part of him, so pretty much just objectify him on national TV, and so they had to put a love heart over the spot, like, that they found most attractive. So some girls went and put a love heart on his eye, like, because I really like his eyes. Some went and put on his head, like, oh my god, I think he's so intelligent. Some put on his arms, like, I like his, you know, like his rig, whatever. And then Simone went and put it straight on his dick. Just whacked it right there for a laugh. Osher lost his shit laughing. All the girls like, oh my god, I can't believe she did that. Like, blah, blah, blah. It was just for like, they obviously told her to do it. But like, if that shit was on The Bachelorette and some dude just walked up to the girl who was blindfolded and just whacked the love hearts on her tits, dude, that would be front page headlines. That person would have been kicked off the show. Probably wouldn't have even made it to air. And and yet when they put it right, she literally put it smack bang on his dick, and he went, oh, who did that? Like, he wasn't happy about it, and then Osher's just losing his shit laughing, and it was all a big laugh, and I was just watching that like, that's messed up. Like, reverse the gender roles there, and you've got yourself a court case. Like, you've got yourself criminal charges. The evidence is, yeah, this went to air, and Channel 10 thought it was funny. Can you imagine that? A dude just walking up and just whacking the love heart right on her minge. And all the guys going, oh, that was so cheeky. Like, no, to be like, dude, why the fuck did you do that? Anyway, that was pretty messed up. Alright, I gotta read some iTunes reviews because I've keep on saying I'm gonna do it. I'm a bit behind. Alright, I've got it up. I'm ready to go this week. It said, Luke made me... Okay, this one's about The Bachelor. This one says, Luke made me watch The Bachelor by Casey. The Bachelor is trash, but so addictive. Thanks, Luke. 5 stars. Thank you very much, Katie. Any funny ones? I told you to leave funny ones. This one's pretty good. This one is Disappointed, 5 stars by Hubba Bubba Bouncy Ball. Expected a load of KKK propaganda. Got a potty, but got a potty way better than Spearhead Sundays. Alright, well that's just... rude to my boy Lewis, but yeah, I mean, I'm sorry for my lack of KKK propaganda. I'll really try and improve in that department. We'll try and start preaching next week and you know, brainwashing you all. But so yeah, thanks for that constructive criticism. More KKK propaganda on the way. This next one is from Lil Broomstick 6. I don't know how people choose these usernames. Great potty 5. Okay, these aren't funny. I need a funny one. I was like, yeah, go leave a funny review. And people were like, oh, this is a great podcast. Oh, this one's pretty good. Hot, 5 stars. A handsome man. That's all it says. So, okay, that's it. TAB enthusiast. I love the TAB and Luke can run faster than trackside greyhounds. That's pretty funny. Well done. That was the funniest review. Alright, I regret reading those out. Thank you guys for leaving mildly funny, but... weirdly positive reviews, so thank you very much. Go rate it 5 stars, it does help it a lot. I appreciate everyone who did that. Now let's get into some questions, and then we're going to end the podcast, because yeah, if you can't already tell, I really don't have a lot to talk about this week. I just didn't do a lot. Alright, this one is from Hadley. That's a cool name. Hello, Luke. I absolutely love your podcast. I've actually fallen asleep to it and missed my alarm because my phone died, which was ultimately worth it. I don't mind you referring to my first name, just probably not my last. You didn't give me your last name, so that's fine. So I have a couple of questions for the podcast. Part 1. If you had the opportunity to have your own late night television show, would you? Which that'd be so awesome. Oh, thank you, man. So he wants me to have my own late night show. If so, who would you want to be your first invite to your show? Yeah, I would never turn down that opportunity to have my own late night television show, but to be honest, that doesn't really exist in Australia. Ever since Rove stopped, there hasn't been like a talk show. Like there's The Project, that's the closest thing we have, and so yeah, obviously I'd love to have my own. I'm not sure how good at it I'd be. It'd definitely take a lot of work, but yeah, obviously it'd be great. You'd have to have your own late night talk show. To be honest, the way the world's going though, man, the internet. Like if you look at the ratings, I think in the future I could get more views having a talk show on the internet than even on TV. But anyway, what would my first list be? Okay, so say if my first guest was on like a big American one, it'd probably be Osher Gunsberg. I'd probably fly him out and just, again, I need to ask him about his spectacular head. No, I don't know. It'd probably be like, who's the coolest person? See, it's weird. An actual answer would be like someone I really look up to, but that's not very funny. I don't know, like Tom DeLonge or someone from Blink-182. I don't know. I'm just a loser, though. Like, it's not going to be anyone interesting. Probably Arnold Schwarzenegger, actually. Just, like, imagine just interviewing, like, hello, Luke. He couldn't even, like, spell my name, and it's one syllable. He wouldn't even know how to say it. He just, like... Hey, that dude can't even string together a sentence. I love him. Anyway, maybe Arnold Schwarzenegger or, like, Matt Damon or, like, anyone cool like that. Just, like, Brad Pitt or someone who's just, like, a boss. Like, being a boss their whole life. I'd actually love to interview Donald Glover, who's Childish Gambino. He also has a stand-up special, which is unreal. Donald Glover's a really interesting person. But, yeah, someone like that. Just someone who's a complete baller and at the top of their game. So that is my answer. Part 2. So my friend went on a trip to Europe and a love interest came into play. Ooh. Juicy. A little bit juicy, Hadley. Alright. So what you should know is that essentially I help out with all my friends' relationships and communicate for them sometimes. Oh, you're an owl. You're a messenger pigeon. That's what you are. Dude, work on your own love life instead of helping out your friends. Like, you're literally... That's what people do who can't get laid themselves. They just help their friends do it. Also, is Hadley a girl or a guy? I've just been calling you a dude, but I have no idea if it's a girl's name. I have no idea what gender you are from your name. Wait, is Hadley... I don't know, it's probably a unisex name. Anyway, with that being said, he led my friend on, and I had some big escapade, which ended in him telling me that he's not into her anymore at the time, but would still be interested. That makes no sense. He left my friend upset, but I need your help letting my friend know that he doesn't own her. Hashtag you don't own me. Did you just meme me? Is this even a question? It would mean a lot, and I know it would for her too. Plus, she'll be listening to the podcast. Thanks, Luke. Sorry, that's a lot of stuff, but thank you for doing what you're doing and always brightening up my day. No worries, Hadley, you genderless unicorn. Keep doing you. I don't get what you said at the end about you don't own me. He left my friend upset. Okay, I'm assuming you're a girl, because you're taking the girl's side. So you need your help letting your friend know that he doesn't... I think you've just tried to be funny, but now I don't know what you meant. I think what you mean is, he left my friend upset, but I need your help letting my friend know that he doesn't like her anymore. But instead you said no, that he doesn't own her. Anyway, that you just referenced a 6-month-old meme and fucked your question in the process. So what happened is, someone said he was leading a friend on, and then he took you on some big escapade, and then he eventually told you that he's not into her anymore, but at the same time he would still be interested. So your friend's giving you mixed messages about your other friend, and you're in the middle of it. Okay. Tell your friend what he said. If you're going to be this messenger pigeon in their relationship, please do your job. Alright, now you're like a lost messenger pigeon who's been sent off, and the other person is relying on you to relay that message. You know, imagine if Jon Snow hadn't have received that raven, and if you're not ahead, I'm not going to spoil Game of Thrones, so I'm going to stop talking about it. But anyway, that was a bad analogy. The point is, you need to tell your friend, or even better, instead of you being this weird messenger in their relationship, you need to get the dude to tell your friend that he's not interested anymore. That would be... I feel like these people weren't even, like, a thing. Like, I feel like you've just gone on a Kentucky, people hooked up, and you were like, oh, they're gonna be in a relationship? You ever thought these people just fucked and then they went their separate ways and they both don't care about each other? Oh, no, wait, you said he left my friend upset. Okay, so the girl was into him, but he's not. I don't even know why, you asked me this question. To be honest, bad luck. He's not into her, and your friend is a big girl or a big boy, whatever, and they're going to have to get over it, so let them know. That's my answer. Let them know what they said. That took way too long for a really basic thing. But, Hadley, well, thank you very much for the question. I need more questions. So, if you guys could send in a life advice like that, but maybe better to answer, and don't meme me at the end with my own fucking meme. So, yeah, send me questions. There's one more, and then that's the end of the podcast. This one is from Melissa. It says, hey, Luke, I have a couple of fun facts for you. Oh, should I do this as the fun fact? To be honest, they're not really fun facts, so I'll just read them out here. 1, McDonald's opens a new restaurant every 14.5 hours. That's not fun. I would say that's a mildly mediocre fact about a fast food chain. 2, furthermore, the Queen of England owns a Macca's restaurant near Buckingham Palace. What a fucking legend. Again, that's a good fact. It's not fun. I didn't enjoy reading it. It just means the Queen has a good business sense. She invested in one of the biggest chains in the world, and she's probably cashing in. How do you think she affords that palace? Okay? Because of the revenue that they're getting from the Big Mac and large fries. And 3rd, this one's actually pretty fun. And lastly, because we're white supremacists, to earn enough to buy a Big Mac. What? No, I think you don't understand the meaning of white supremacy. I think I've misconstrued you all as to what white supremacy is. The white supremacy would be if I started talking about all that KKK propaganda, okay? Being affluent is not white supremacy. It's called being wealthy. There's plenty of white people. There's plenty of people who are wealthy who aren't white. So, and also, there's plenty of people who aren't white. Anyway, I get what you were saying. Because we're white to earn enough to buy a Big Mac, the average person in India has to work almost 6 hours to afford a Big Mac. Now, that's pretty fun. I'll give you that, Melissa. I just can picture them slaving away, making my iPhone and going, fuck, 4 hours to go, then I get a Big Mac. Man, imagine if you're like, oh man, should I work overtime today and get some fries and a drink? You're like, no, I'll just go home. Fuck that. You're right, that's pretty fun. I did enjoy that one, Melissa. Then Melissa also goes on in the email to say you should use Confessions of a Chalky Chump, which I did far too frequently throughout this podcast. And she said, lastly, and I think this is the actual question, and lastly, because I want to hear you struggle to come to a conclusion on your next podcast, what is your favourite food ever, excluding the palmy? I'm not even going to answer your question until you take that back. Did you just say palmy? Are you doing that to purposely trigger me? Like, are you doing that to purposely trigger me and piss me off? Because if so, I'm not happy. Palmy, unless you're from New South Wales, that is unacceptable. No one here calls it a palmy, okay? It's a chicken parmigiana, and it's Parma for short. Parma, not palmy. Are you serious right now? Oh my God, Melissa. God, the level of inconsistency in this email is phenomenal. I get now why no one sends in questions, because I'm just like, I just rage at everyone who tries to contribute. And also, thank you all very much for contributing to this podcast. But yeah, I always just end up raging too hard. But anyway, my favorite food, I'm gonna slowly just take a few deep breaths and all right. My favorite food, aside from a chicken parma, because that's my favorite meal. That is my favorite meal. My favorite food is probably a donut, man. You can't go past a cinnamon donut. Oh, you're right. I am going to deliberate this. You know what's underrated? Tim Tams. Tim Tams are weirdly good. Now, if you're from outside of Australia, you wouldn't get that, but Tim Tams are weirdly good. I would say donut is the favorite food. And on that note, that brings us to the end of the podcast. So I hope you all have a good week just being chalky chumps out there. Even if you're not a chalky chump, think of a funny slang for your race or culture, and you know what, send it to me. Would love to hear it. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Go rate the podcast on iTunes. It really helps out. I'll be back next week with probably more to talk about it because I'm going to do shit this week. And yeah, actually we should probably get a goodbye from the robot. Hey Google, say goodbye to all the people listening to this podcast.
My apologies, I don't understand.
Yep, of course you don't. Literally useless. So there you go, guys. That's why the robots aren't going to be taking over anytime in the near future. And on that disappointing note, that's the end of the podcast. Hey Google, do something impressive.
On the website vocabulary.com, they say, so something that's impressive does just that, like the impressive feat of running a marathon.
Oh my
every
god,
week
I'm
or
just going to
year.
end the podcast.
The earliest meaning of impressive was capable of being easily impressed, from the Latin word impressus, imprint or stamp.
Hey Google, stop.
By
Okay.
around.
Okay, no one was impressed by that. Alright, I'm going to end the podcast. What a disappointing end. That wasn't impressive. You just read out facts about other people doing impressive things. Have a good one, guys.